This is a presentation of the Sports Source Digital Network, presented by Hearthside Bank.
Welcome into the Sports Source Digital Network. I'm John Pennington, joined by all these VFLs here. We got Ollie Lane, we got Marlon Walls, we got Daniel Hood right there. We're going to try and break down the game a little bit differently. This is a show we're going to start calling The Final Word, and it's the final word on Syracuse this week. Everybody breaks down games. I do a TV show Sunday morning. You guys do radio Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning. We're all over the place breaking down games. So I wanted to do something a little different. Wanted to put the same categories week after week so we can kind of compare one game to another. So we're going to have 13 topics today. All right? I don't know how long this is going to take. May take 13 minutes. May take 3 hours. I doubt that because I'm not going to pay you for 3 hours. But if anybody out there has ever watched Bill Simmons and the Rewatchables, where they talk about movies and they have categories, that's kind of the idea that I'm ripping off. I don't like ripping stuff off, but that's movies. This is sports. Let the ripping begin.
Let's do it.
So I don't know how long this one's going to take. It could be a quickie, but 10 years from now, will the Tennessee-Syracuse game be remembered? And if so, why?
No, this will not be a rememberable game. I think it's somewhat they're trying to make college football, NCAA is trying to make things memorable by introducing these kickoff game classics or whatever. But it's like we've played in a couple of these that I don't even remember. I mean, it's just it makes no sense to me why they're doing it. I think bowl games are a bowl game for a reason. You don't need them for a kickoff game. Yeah. It's cool that you got to play for a leather helmet. I don't know if the leather helmet will be very memorable.
Heupel dodged that leather helmet. It's like Aguilar, put it on Aguilar. Let's see, you played against Georgia Tech in one of these. Were you in the West Virginia game?
I was in the West Virginia
Charlotte?
game. Yeah.
So you
another one that I don't want to remember.
You forgot that one. Yeah, I just, to me, a memorable game is one that either you're playing for something, it's a championship win, or you win it on a last-second drive, you win it with a last-second field goal. I don't think Vol fans, doesn't mean it's a horrible game, just means I don't think Vol fans are going to be talking about this one. I mean, down the road, if Joey Aguilar wins a Heisman, okay, then you go back and retroactively say his first game, but I don't think it's memorable. Did you guys think it's memorable for a reason?
You're wrong. It's gonna be remembered, and here's the reason why. 10 years later, when we're playing in the Aflac kickoff game again, they're gonna show the Syracuse highlights.
Oh, yeah, they're gonna bring the little Aflac duck up trivia question.
And your quarterback is now a firefighter, so that's it'll come back up then. But as far as like something that happened in the game that was memorable, I agree with you guys that no, it's one you throw away and say, hey, we remember that season, but. Yeah, I don't know about the game.
Is that going to stand out to you?
The game itself, no, but this was the moment that cemented Josh Heupel as a really good coach, in my opinion. You look at all the off-season drama that happened and everything that went around with that, so many question marks coming into the season, and it was just like none of it affected them. They went out there, they played football, they executed, they hit big plays, they made big plays on defense. And to me, that was when it was like, I mean, we played 2000.
NC State.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Dooley got the leather helmet.
No. But I was just thinking about, like, in 2009, we had a situation where one of our teammates gets arrested. We go down to Ole Miss, and we end up not being able to say a player's name for the rest of our entire tenure because we played so bad. And it was just like, that was Tennessee's Achilles heel. You have something happen, it's like, oh, they're always losing the next week. And then this time, it's like, you couldn't have scripted anything to go more wrong.
Yeah, you had a lot of stuff go wrong this offseason, and
they just
hit the ground rolling.
Played football.
That's a good answer. It's a personal answer, but I'm afraid there are other people out there who either I bought into Heupel before. I've thought he was a good coach. I think he's a good coach. Yeah. Although I do agree with you. I said this on Sunday. What he just did, to me, is another feather in the cap. I've been impressed that here's an offensive coach who's willing to win with defense. Now I'm impressed that you just had he runs a clean, quiet, just kind of milquetoast program. And you had all this crap hit the fan, and they go out there and do it. But the problem is you still got people out there who don't buy in. So I think it's memorable to you for that reason. Yeah. I don't know what it is to them. So I don't think it's going to be.
That was my final straw. It's like, we got a ball coach. And like I said, I saw the stats, like he's one of the best coaches in the country. I was like, well, let's see. And then this game happens, and it's like, I'm all in.
Okay. See, I would say I think this game, you were reminded that you had a really good coach in Josh Heupel.
Yeah.
I think when he came in and did what he did with the squad, with most of those guys leaving in the transfer portal or kicked off the team, and you get to a bowl game.
Yeah.
And then the next year you roll over, and then we had our down years the last couple of years, and then now he kind of reminded you.
Yeah, and even your down
I
years.
can coach football.
We call it down years because the offense wasn't flashy. You make a
Right.
Yeah.
He won 30 games in 3 years. He's a good coach.
Yeah.
I think they got a good coach. The problem is we now live in a world where people, if you don't have a national championship every other year, you're not a good coach.
You give it to them once, they're going to keep wanting it more and
Yeah.
more. That's just the
Yeah.
way the world works.
This one kind of ties into that last question. Category number 2. Would you watch the Syracuse game again just for fun? Not for, I want to study this, but just, this is so entertaining, I'm going to watch it again. And me, the answer is nah.
No. Maybe if it's a very lazy Sunday afternoon and they've got a little rerun on the sport or SEC network or whatever, maybe I'll peep it for a little bit. But no, it's not a game that I'm going to go back.
You almost said a rerun on the sports source. we don't do reruns.
We don't do
If I were smart, we'd do reruns. Would you watch it again for pleasure?
I don't know if there's ever been a game I rewatched for pleasure. So
Well,
I just, I'll watch highlights and things
Yeah.
like that, but rewatching the entire game?
I was doing work yesterday, and I just wanted to put something on TV while I was doing work.
Yeah.
YouTube threw up the Tennessee-Penn State 1971 game. And I threw that, Fulmer was playing, but I watched that thing just to see, holy smokes, you're talking about leather helmets.
Yeah.
It's just such a different game back then. As a matter of fact, Tennessee attempted a field goal from the 36. It's a 53-yard kick. Missed it. Where do you think Penn State got the ball? 36, right?
Yeah.
No, they got it at their 20.
No,
Because
touchback.
apparently it was a touchback when you'd miss a
When
field
you
goal.
kick-
Yeah, I was just like, wow, this is. But that wasn't for pleasure. That was for education
Just 'cause-
to watch that thing. All right. Question number 3. What was the game's single most memorable play? There's a couple here.
I got to go with Colton Hood.
Scoop and score?
Yeah, because everything I read this all season is how important scoring defense is.
Yep.
5 of the 7 last national championships have had the #1 scoring defense. And you look at Tim Baines, how good he's done, and it's like, that's our next step as a program. And of course, he has the last name Hood, so I had to go, had to
Keep
go
it in the family. Yeah, Colt Hood.
I'm gonna say Brandon Staley on the 73-yard pass, the bomb.
Braylon. I did the same. I'm terrible
Braylon.
at
Yeah,
that.
I do the same. Braylon, my bad, Braylon. Braylon Staley on the
Parents, man.
73-yard bomb
Come on.
because that showed me a flash of the old offense we've seen before. And I know we keep going back to it, but man, I think we forget so fast how exciting that offense was. I mean, we literally come in and say, okay, are we going to score 28 points in the first quarter and the game over with? So that kind of showed me a flash of we've still got that in our offense. So for me to see Braylon Staley, a young guy, catch that bomb pass, right? We always chasing the next Jalen Hyatt. For me, that kind of like, all right, we might have that back again.
I think for me, the most memorable play, just being a football savant, love seeing some
Savant.
really good plays. The teamwork that happened on the interception by T-Lander, I mean, was just impeccable. I mean, McMurray being able to get up there, tip the pass, and then T-Lander's extra effort to get
The
that
concentration
interception.
on it.
Oh, I know. I mean, and that's just a play. Just as a football fan, you got to enjoy those kind of. I mean, that's an SEC or Sports Center top 10 right there kind of play. That kind of effort, and then it goes to show you too that defense is a lot of individual stars. You have your individual stars that make a lot of individual highlights. But that just shows you that it's a team game and a team effort. Everybody's got to play together to make those big things happen.
I think the most memorable play, it's one of those two. I think those two, these two guys are probably right, but I'm with you. The T-Lander thing to me, because that's the most unique. I'll see a deep ball. I'll see a scoop and score. I can't think of many times where one of your guys bats the ball in the air and the linebacker comes up there and brings it the way he did. So kudos to Jeremiah T-Lander in that one. So we all got different
You
answers.
have seen it one time where someone batted it up in the air and caught it themselves.
Tennessee had that with
here we
Dale
go.
Jones, actually, in '85. Who are you thinking?
That ain't who
Did
he's
you
talking
do
about.
it?
Go ahead.
No, go
Who are you
ahead.
talking about?
You were there. You witnessed it.
I ain't see the play.
Oh, okay.
Did you do it?
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember this. What game?
Yeah, he got
Yeah,
one.
App State. Yeah, and what's funny about that
Wow.
game is I always wore receiver gloves because I didn't like the way the lineman gloves felt. And so before,
So it was those gloves that made the
well,
difference.
so before
Yeah.
the game, we had a trainer, Logan, and he was making fun of me. Why are you wearing these gloves? I was like, because I'm gonna catch a couple words pick. And he's like, okay. And I went out there and did it. And if Big Dan would have made the block, I would have scored on that play. So still mad, Big Dan.
Yeah, there's a famous one, Tennessee 1985, before any of you were, before your parents were born. when Dale Jones beat Alabama down in Tuscaloosa, and that was back it's still Alabama. So he batted the ball up in the air, caught it. The quarterback was Mike Shula, who went on to be a long-time offensive coordinator. All right. There, now we can tell who the old man on the show is. No surprise, it's the guy with the Santa Claus hair. All right, next up, what was the biggest reason Tennessee won the game? Question 5. What was the biggest reason? That's question 4. Biggest reason Tennessee won the game?
I would say Aguilar being a little bit better than we expected. Or I would say being ready for the moment than we expected. A little bit more than because I think defensive-wise we're going to do anyways. We're going to flash, especially when you're playing an out-of-conference opponent, Syracuse. We usually show up in those kind of games defensively. But I would say the biggest thing was I did not know Aguilar was going to jump in and play like an experienced football player that he is. Made the right decisions, ran with the ball when he's supposed to.
Composed.
Threw the ball when he's supposed to. And that's a big moment. That's a big moment. In the in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, you're not at home in front of your own fans. It's kind of we kind of took over the stadium anyways, but that's a big moment for a guy to jump in his first start. So I think that was a big reason for me.
I'd have to go back and look. Maybe he's played in the Dome when they played Georgia State or something, but they didn't play in the Dome. Georgia State plays in the old Turner Field, I think. So that would probably, for a guy who played at App State, that's probably the biggest venue he's been in. No picks. So I can see that one. Where are you going, Ollie? What was the biggest reason Tennessee won the game?
Somewhat similar.
I see that, but you're wrong. Go ahead. I'll come back and tell y'all.
Similar on par, but I think just our offense's ability to get comfortable and start fast is really what kind of set us up, because there was a point that third quarter was a very lackluster third quarter. And, gave Syracuse an opportunity, if we didn't have that fast start, to put some points up in the first half where they could have easily etched themselves back into that game, or it would have been more of you might have actually seen the offense have to press, which they did not have to get. They put themselves in a good situation where they didn't feel like they had to ever press it. And so I have to credit, I think, is the fast start that really helped us win that football game.
All right, another good wrong answer.
Yeah,
What do you got?
both of them completely wrong. Not bad, but Tennessee's a running the football team. And you start with the running backs. You look at the production that they put up, 240 yards rushing. You had Star Thomas with even a reception for a touchdown, which he should have never had that one because the play right before it
was a touchdown.
It was a touchdown. They were running over people left and right. We've not seen that deep of a backfield at Tennessee in a long time.
I don't know about that.
That's
Samson Wright and Small. You just took it.
There you go.
You went just an inch over the line. People won't like this. I'm going to take it in a different direction, just the other side of that coin. Tennessee won that football game because Syracuse can't stop the run. They couldn't stop the run last year, and they could not stop the run against Tennessee. Credit Tennessee for their running backs. I'm like you, I'm impressed. I don't know that they're better than Samson Wright and Small, but they look like they're going to be good. But Syracuse was horrible last year stopping the run. They looked horrible this year too. And I think that if you're able to run the ball and know you can run the ball, I think that makes play calling easier too.
Oh yeah,
I think that eases
Aguilar
a
ran
little
the
bit.
ball a couple times.
Yeah.
34 yards. He got 6 carries, 34 yards, long at 25.
I will say one thing too that was a highlight of the game is you could see that the coaching staff directly pointed out the freshman DB that Syracuse had and just went and attacked him the entire game.
Which is something we haven't seen in a little while, because we talked about it. That, you go back to the Alabama game in 2022 where they just kept putting Hyatt over the same poor guy. It was just, if they'd move him over here, Hyatt would move over there. So it was good to see them. We're getting off topic a little bit. We saw motion in the offense again. We saw them attacking specific people. There were glimpses of the old Tennessee offense.
Yeah, I was going to say my second was going to be Josh Heupel kind of coaching the game like he's pissed off.
Yeah.
With the formations, shifts, motions, that's something we haven't seen in the last couple of years. It looked like it was a guy that was saying, I can still do this, and I'm going to show you.
And I also wonder how much of that, and credit him. I'm sure Joey Halsley won't like this, but you went out and got a guy in Seth Littrell who's an analyst, who's been a head coach, who's been an offensive coordinator. How much of that was just having another set? And Heupel doesn't like to go get guys out from the outside. No. How much of that was just having a different guy? We don't know how much of that credit goes to him, but you had a different set of eyes who may have said, you can shake this up by doing this. And So anyway, next one, question 5. What was the biggest what if in that game? And I'll start this one, so I'll set the table, and you guys know what this means. What was the biggest what if in that game? Mine is this. for all the celebrating we're doing about the offense, which it was better. It was better than I anticipated, especially considering you had so many people in position battles. You had guys that were missing time in camp. I didn't know what the chemistry was going to look like, and it didn't look like there were big issues out there. But I still look at this and realize, all right, one touchdown was a scoop and score. All right, so that's 38 for your offense. The other one was the T-lander play down inside their red zone, short drive. Now you're looking at 31-26. Now, that's not how the game plays out. If you change this, nothing plays out the same. It's Avengers Endgame. Somebody's got the gauntlet, and they've changed the past. Yeah. But I do look at it, and it's like, you did get – that defense gave you some help.
Yeah.
So, to me, what would have happened if you didn't get those 2 turnovers? Would you still have pounded them, or would that game have looked a little tighter? That would have been my what if. What's your big what if in this game?
I don't know. I think if the offense did not start on a fast start, you would have seen the same struggles as last year. That's my what if. I think if the offense did not start out fast, hitting on cylinders and tempo and all these different things, you saw more pre-snap penalties that typically happen in a first game for Tennessee. I think that changes the game drastically.
And we talked about that on the Saturday pregame show, the fact that I asked you, I said, how long does it take them to get into a rhythm? And if it takes a while, at what point do they start going, uh-oh, here we go again? So,
yeah, and I mean, you saw it a lot last year where they were trying to press and make things happen that just clearly weren't there. And especially when you throw in Joey Aguilar's past tendencies when he's pressed to do things and throw interceptions, you might have saw more of those in that football game.
All right. Who's next? Who wants to go next?
I'll say what if my big what if is what if David Sanders did play in that football game? And exactly what you just spoke about, we're used to seeing false start penalties. We're used to seeing left, right tackle can't block anybody. Like, what if that freshman did play and have those freshman mistakes? Do our offense start as fast?
That's a good one.
And now do we find ourselves pressing? And again, which is not a good situation because we're putting Joey Aguilar in that situation where I've got to make something happen with the football.
Yeah. That's a terrific what if because that's kind of you wanted Sanders to play.
Yeah.
But if he had, could it have made things more difficult? That's good. Daniel.
Yeah, my what if came in the third quarter, and Tennessee was up 38-26. My what if is what if the defense didn't get a 3 and out on the Syracuse drive? Syracuse takes it down and scores. Then you're looking at a 38-32 or 34 because they're not kicking extra points. But how would your team have responded with that level of adversity that late in the game with how many young guys that you had? Now, the defense came out, got the stop. Tennessee goes down, scores, goes up to 45 points, 46 points, whatever it was. And pretty much at that point, the game's over. But if Syracuse would have got a drive going right there, how would you have handled that adversity?
Here's another one for you. It's a good one. Right before halftime, it's what, 24 – what was the halftime score, 31-14? Yeah. So it's 24-14. And I'm watching it with Bob Hodge, who we do TV with. And I asked him, I said, all right, does Heupel come out here and show the guts he showed against Alabama a few years ago? The clock's ticking, you could easily just play it safe. They throw it. It's kind of bad in the air. It looked like, was it a catch? Was it a fumble? Was it, that could have been bad in the air. And then all of a sudden, Syracuse has the ball down there. It's 24-14. They're in your red zone before the half. Instead, on second down, you get a guy in the backfield, and I guess it was Bishop that just busts it outside and takes it, and you wind up getting the touchdown on the other end. That's a pretty much what-if moment right there. That you chose to go for it, but what would have happened if that backfired and all of a sudden it's 24-21 going in at the half? Yeah.
And if Warrens had machine guns, birds wouldn't mess with them.
All right. I'm going to let Daniel start with this one. This is number 6. This topic is I declare. And it doesn't have to be a hot take.
Okay.
It's just a big statement. You watch that game, and your big statement coming out of that game is?
I declare at the end of the 2025 season, Tennessee defense will be the number 1 scoring defense in the country.
That's a big.
That's
a good
huge one.
Yeah. But here's the thing with Tim Banks over there, I'm not ruling that out. I mean, the last 2 years you've had a really good defense. That's good.
I just worry about our depth on that one. To see guys going out the way they are right now, I kind of worry about that as we get in that level of competition. Kind
What
of
do you
up.
declare then?
Let's
hear your
I
wrong-
declare that Josh Heupel was going to coach this season a little bit different than he ever has before because of that chip on his shoulder. When he came out and said, I think a reporter asked him, hey, Josh Heupel, can you comment on the Nico situation? He corrected him right away and said, no, it's an Aguilar situation. That told me right there he's kind of pissed off.
Yeah.
And he's hurt the momentum. I mean, obviously we go down to Ohio State, get out rear end kick, like and get wiped off the
You
field.
could say ass.
Yeah, I can say ass. Okay, got our ass kicked on that field. That's something that led over all the way into the off season. People heard about it. I'm sure some of the fans are kind of questioning, how fans get. But I think he's a little bit motivated. I think he's got a chip on his shoulder. Yeah, I think he wants to run the score up. I think he wants to show this offense. He's the guy calling the play calls. I am a great football coach. I think we kind of saw that come back a little bit this year.
I want to play off that just for a second. I was talking to Kevin Simon recently. We were taping something in here, and we were talking about Heupel being willing to win with defense, because I mentioned earlier, that's one of those things that impresses me. And he said, yeah, but don't ever think he's happy winning that way.
No.
He said he wants to rip your throat out. There's nobody he doesn't want to put 60 points on.
Yeah.
He said he lives for it. That's what he wants to do.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to win with defense. If his defense is gassed and they're giving up 20 points, but he's putting 65 up,
Yeah.
he's happier with that than he is winning 20 to 3.
That-
So I thought that was interesting.
There was one thing I saw at the end of the game, his post-game speech, and he's talking to the guys, and he kind of just got kind of choked up on them. Like, hey, man, did that feel good? Like, that tells me he's on a mission to, I'm going to run the freaking score up every chance we get to show these cats I'm still one of the best coaches in the SEC.
Yep. Ollie, what do you declare?
I don't know. Throwing it back and forth in my head, I'm going to declare this. I declare that by the end of this season, Peyton Lewis is going to be the best running back out of the trio. That's my declaration. Even though he had the less yards in this game, I still personally think he looked the best in that game. I think he's overall.
He ran over a guy to get in the end zone on his touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, it's just he's got the mix of power, he's got the mix of speed. He's got great balance of what's a great SEC running back. So that's why I declare right here and now, I think he's going to be the best one by the end of the year.
Ollie, you're an awesome guy, man. You're nice and all the rest of that kind of good stuff. You're wrong.
He's a savant.
Star Thomas is getting paid more money.
There you go. There you
Star
go.
Thomas is getting paid more money. You want your ROI on every investment. They got to see that money turn around.
That's why I was going to throw it right back in your face and say, I declare Star Thomas is going to be the guy. He was impressive.
He was.
Now,
Yeah.
I thought that, look, I think what you're going to get is probably every week it's going to be a different guy that leads them. But, boy, Star Thomas, I mean, Deshaun Bishop, when he got over there, kid from Carnes, local
Yep.
kid,
Yep.
nobody was sitting there thinking, oh, he's the future. He looks every bit as good as anybody they've had over there. I mean, he looks like a solid back. That's an exaggeration. I did it to you, I have to admit it. It's my own exaggeration. He's looked really good. But I was impressed with Star Thomas now.
Especially with how
impressive.
quiet his offseason was. I don't feel like a lot of people were talking about Star, what he was doing in practice and all this, but to see the way that kid can play. I mean,
EA Sports gave him the highest grade, so that's got to count for something.
he's my starting running back.
We need your declaration, so we got it on film.
What's that?
We need your declaration.
Oh, I said it's
Star Thomas.
Star Thomas, yeah. Okay, next up, number 7. Did any player achieve their career high watermark? In other words, are we going to look back and say, holy smoke, this guy just did something he's never done before? And is it too obvious because he's never played at this level and all the pressure is on him that we go Aguilar? I think that may be the pick, isn't it?
What year is Jalen McMurray?
Oh, that's good.
I thought he had a great game. He flashed. They blitzed him a couple times. Had a couple good hits on the quarterback. Made some plays in the open space. Jalen McMurray popped to me right away just looking at the defense.
I thought
said,
Colton
that
Hood
cat
did
there
too.
can play. Yeah.
I mean, 3 PBUs for him too. So okay, all right.
Again, I
so
hadn't
you're going
seen-
McMurray?
Yeah.
Mine would probably been Arian Carter. I didn't expect him to play as well as he did.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he led the team in production.
Yeah.
He had the one little fake drop back to blitz for a sack. Like, I was really blown away by how he played the game.
Oh, what do you think?
2 things. One, I don't think T. Leonard's ever going to get an interception like he did, so that's probably a career high play for him right there.
Yeah,
but also, I mean, just kind of based off the response that you guys gave, I think Jesse Perry came in, moved into a position that he wasn't supposed to play.
Yeah, he's going to be right guard until 30
first
minutes before
game
game
playing.
time.
Yeah. I mean, I think that kid had an exceptional game. And so I look forward to seeing him continue to do more. Hopefully they get him back at that guard position, get David Sanders back in. But that's a kid that, I mean, he played a really good game. That's a game that he's going to remember as his entrance into college football.
I'm still going to go Aguilar, simply because all the pressure in the world was on it. You had a limited amount of time to get in there. You didn't get to spend the limited time you had. You didn't get to spend all that time with the right receivers and the right center. You're rotating guys around. Everybody's going to compare you to the guy that UCLA wanted over you. They wanted Nico. They didn't want you. And he goes out there in that big venue we just talked about. I don't know that he's played in a stadium like that. No. To me, I think it's got to be Aguilar, is my opinion. That's the guy that doesn't mean it's his forever watermark. But to this point, I would think that would have to be, not to mention the fact the love he's getting around Tennessee right now is more love than he ever got at App State.
Yeah. And the only thing I'd add on top of that is all offseason, all you heard about was like, yeah, he can throw touchdowns, but he throws interceptions.
You heard it from me. I kept saying it. I didn't know what to expect.
This is a small sample
size.
Very,
but it's what we're just talking about.
Yeah. That's all we got. That's all we got to go off of.
One thing I will say, you got to love how the football guys work things out, and somehow the guy at UCLA did not have a favorable start to his tenure over there. So.
I actually feel sorry for him.
Yeah, he's on an awful team.
It's the dad that deserves that score.
It's an awful team.
It's just brutal. All right. Number 8, Marlon, I'll start with you. Right. I am confident in, it's got to be a player or position group. After that Syracuse game, I am confident in.
All right, I'm confident in, I would say, the defensive backs buying that we get McCoy back. Because I think you pair him with Colton Hood, I think we got a heck of a secondary. Well, I ain't going to say a second. I would say these guys are, your corner spot is super important. You can cover up a safety if you got really good corner play. And I think with those two paired together, I think we're going to have a lot of fun on defense. I think you'll get a lot of production from those two cornerback spots. So I would say I'm going to depend on that position going forward.
Confident in the corners. What do you got?
I don't know. You know, there was a lot of questions about this position group coming into the season, and I got to say, I'm confident in the offensive line.
There you
go. Being a former offensive lineman,
yeah.
But I'm confident in them. They went out and played a really good, complete game. You know, you didn't notice them in the pass game, and that's the greatest thing an offensive lineman can hear is you didn't notice me. We didn't give up pressures, no sacks. I think there was only 2 or 3 tackles for a loss, so didn't have a lot of blow-ups. So I'm confident in them.
And kudos to Lance Hurd.
Yes.
Because we gave him a lot of crap because he stunk last year. And there was talk that, well, he was banged up. Okay, I think we can now say, he was banged up because he looked good. All right, Daniel.
Hot take.
What are you confident?
I'm confident in our wide receiver room.
We're going to go head-to-head. How can you be confident
This is a Zan master coming out.
This
is the yoga.
Somewhere earlier.
Which one of y'all have, how many of y'all have won a championship as a coach? State championship.
As a coach?
Yep. Thank you. Anyway. Thank you. Anyway.
That was the other production on the squad.
You're talking about assistant coach. Okay,
that was a Bolt team. Go ahead.
That was a Bolt team? Yeah. I took him from 17 sacks to 47
Catholic
in one
High?
season.
Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, just for people watching.
Anyway, but week 1 is the hardest week to play offense. Offense is all about getting your rhythm down, all the stuff that goes into that, you're shuffling the offensive line and everything. Joey Aguilar is still top 5 in total yards against a top or a Big 5 school, right?
Yep.
Not one of the Alabama A&Ms or anything like that. Still had over 200 and some yards, good completion percentage, QBR rating over 60. I think his receivers really helped him out. He missed some balls with it being week 1. Mike Matthews had a beautiful one-on-one route that Joey underthrew by about 5 yards. He could have easily went over 300 yards that game with that one completion. I'm confident in our wide receivers.
Okay, I'm going to be quick in this so I can get to I'm worried about. I'm confident in the running backs. Yes. I feel really good about the running backs. Yeah. Now, what are we worried about? I'm going first. Receivers.
Wide receivers.
I am worried about the receivers. I think they look exactly like last year's receivers. I mean, here's the thing. Matthews had 5 targets, 2 catches.
Yeah.
And a drop. Brazel had 8 targets, 5 catches, and I think 2 drops.
2 drops.
Yeah, and one of those, it was a touchdown. Yeah. I mean, maybe the guy coming over gets him, but if he makes that one guy miss, it's a touchdown.
Yeah, which is what we saw last year.
Yes,
from that same name we just spoke.
Yeah.
I don't know. The thing that worries me, and I don't want to pick on a certain
You're
play.
just moving right past me. I had more bad things to say about the receiver. No, go ahead.
But just that drop in particular, I mean, it's just textbook what you teach a wide receiver. Don't throw your eyes downfield till you secure the pass. And, I mean, you saw him, ball's not in his chest yet, and he's already looking downfield where he wants to go. And that's just, I mean, that's textbook. He's a third-year wide receiver. I mean, you can't make those mistakes.
And the problem is he's got the talent because you go back, he made some great catches last year. I mean, that Alabama catch was beautiful. He's just not consistent.
One of the things you hear from receivers like that played the game before is that first guy in front that's leading the drills, he's got to be good.
Yeah.
Because he's got to teach the young guys. Yeah. And when you're looking at Chris Brazzell, you've got, I guess behind him, Mike Matthews, Braylon Staley,
and then they don't play anybody else. It would be Travis Smith, Rodarius Jackson.
Smith or Rodarius Jackson, so that guy has to be good because that's the guy that's leading the drills. He is the coach on the field for your receiving group. So when he dropped 2 passes, one that could have been a touchdown, not to mention it takes you back to last year, but it's also like, you can't coach me when you just dropped 2 balls. You know what I mean? So that's a different deal. So they appreciate you.
It's on film now. We'll see it.
They appreciate you.
I think it definitely highlighted that you missed those guys in camp. You missed having all those guys in camp because you even saw it from Joey as well through the game. He had some high passes. There was some issues with where he was placing the ball for the receivers. So you could tell that there was somewhat of an off step between both the quarterback and the receiver. It just depended on which side weighs heavily more on.
That's why we call him the Daniel Llama. It's not the Dalai Lama. It's the Daniel. Always giving out the bouquets to the guys who need it. Yep. Yeah. All right. So that was going to be your worried. Yeah. So we're all on the same thing except for Daniel. Okay. What's your worried?
It's got to be the offensive line after that game.
I think there's something personal.
I just I've got to see Tennessee play twice this year. I got to see one practice and, of course, the game against Syracuse. And I looked all around the field. You had quality depth at running back. You've got quality depth at
don't say wide receiver,
defensive line, cornerbacks, safeties. The one area that I'm still left most unsure about is, do you have 8 to 9 guys, or can you even get to 8 to 9 guys in the NIL era at the offensive line position? Because you're going to have 1 or 2 of these guys get an ankle injury, high ankle sprain, stinger, that type of stuff. That's what I worry about, because if we can keep the offensive line how they played against Syracuse, that changed my entire projection on this team. Yeah. But you start to get this injury.
Well, I mean, I watched you. We say it now. We saw you on Saturday morning.
We could say it was definitely better with Cooper Mays. We'll leave it at that.
No. That's not where I was going. No, what I was saying is Saturday, you had your score predicted.
Yeah.
It was on a whiteboard.
Yeah.
And then the word came in about David Sanders.
Yeah, this is immediately changing.
Yeah, there's a couple touchdowns that went off that thing. So I do think if that had been against Georgia, would it have? I credit them for making do and getting through it and answering those questions on the day. All the credit in the world to them. But if that was against a better defense, would it have worked? That's a different question. And I agree with you. I think the depth there is still an issue. I credit, again, praise for what they did against Syracuse. Yeah. Syracuse is not Georgia. Syracuse is not Alabama. Syracuse is not Florida or Oklahoma. So.
And they did what they were supposed to do. That's a team that the offensive line should have dominated.
Yes.
And they came out, and to their credit, they absolutely dominated Syracuse.
And real quick, I give you credit for this. That is one of the things we talked about the most was, can this staff produce offensive linemen that they recruited?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's the reason I was excited to see David Sanders. This is their guy. He's a true freshman. But we haven't seen those guys that they recruited, put in place, actually produce at a high level.
Well, I think this is the first year that they had one of their offensive linemen that they recruited that actually played.
Yeah, because, if you look in the years past, it's been Pruitt guys. Majority Pruitt guys are 1 or 2 transfers. So now you've got – this is Ellerby's recruitment. You can classify, I guess, the transfer guys as part of him now. But
I'm just looking across the line there. You've got Hurd transfer, Moy transfer. Now Umarov was a signee, and he's the one that came in. Perry was a signee, and then
Pendleton and Moy
were both transfers. So Sanders would have been. But talking about trying to keep the offensive line depth together, you had in Larry Johnson a pretty good backup tackle, but you went with the young guy because you spent the money, and he's like, I'm out of here.
And that's what
you run into.
Larry
Yes.
Johnson would have played.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To me, and
that was the guy.
That's the hardest position that you need to have depth at in this era of football that we're in, and it's the most important.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you got a 6, a 7, or an 8 that's ready to play, they're going to be able to play somewhere else.
Why would I not go to LSU and make $1 million?
Or if you're Lance Hurd, why would you not leave LSU to come here for $1 million?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Question number 10. We're almost done here. What was Josh Heupel's best, and this is depending on the win or loss, best or worst move, so we'll go best. Best move versus Syracuse. What did you like the most from Josh Heupel?
All right, I would say all the questions around Aguilar, we all had questions. We wanted to see what this guy was going to look like. We also thought, and I think we did a show a couple months back where we talked about, like, what is his production going to be close to? Was it Joe Milton's first start, Hooker's first start, or Nico first start? And we all kind of picked, like, all right, Nico. You're thinking probably about 100 and something yards, a couple rushes, a good touchdown run, but not him kind of digging and dunking around the field, throwing the football. So what I give Heupel credit for was putting faith in that guy right away.
Yeah.
He comes out right away and go RPO. And I think the first 3 plays were passes. And that tells that quarterback in this situation that I've never been in this stadium before, playing this kind of game, my coach trusts me. And you kind of saw that happen the rest of the game. So I would say that was the biggest one he did.
All right.
My biggest thing was his scheme that game. We all saw the 73-yard touchdown. The formation with is almost like a wishbone, almost the way they had the backfield set up. But what was most impressive to me was they run that play. They get 73-yard touchdown. They come out in the same formation. They've been running all game, getting yards, running the football. Well, then they run the same route again, but they run a comeback route. And you could see the safety was now back on his feet, getting ready for the vertical route because he thought it was coming. You get a 30-yard completion underneath it.
Yeah.
And it was just Josh Heupel was in the other coach's head the entire game. They had no idea what was coming. They didn't know if he was going deep. They didn't know if he was bringing him back. They didn't know if you're running the football out of the formation. And it just led to yard after yard after yard.
I'm not arguing with you. I agree with you. But I will say, and I think it's interesting, we didn't bring this up on the Sunday show. We brought up 8,000 other things. But the fact that he said after the game that his team lost a little bit of the edge, and that talks about offense too. I thought he took the foot off the gas in that second half. So it's hard for you, if you're the one that kind of dials it back, isn't your team going to naturally dial it down a little bit? So that would, if we had to say a best or worst move, that's a play off of what you're saying, but I'm not arguing with you. I thought overall he was really good and he did keep him hopping, but then it was almost like, okay, let's just burn some clock here. And if you do that, it's hard for you to come out and then rip your players for losing their edge.
Up-tempo team now changing the tempo. It slows everybody down.
I would say the best move that he made, similar to yours, is that he was diverse in his play calling. I mean, normally you feel like you see these first games, coaches are scared to show their whole playbook. They're afraid to show the secrets before the season starts. It didn't seem like he was afraid to run anything that he didn't want to. And that really played to our advantage, and I think it answered a lot of questions about him that he wanted to get answered right off the bat. And so that's why I give it to him that was his best move of being diverse, running these different formations, getting the tempo back, setting up the shot plays like we did in 22, because that's what people want to see, and that's the questions that people need answered, and I think that's what he did on Saturday.
I'll give you a weird one. Best move was not, and I would have been tempted to do it. In fact, when I heard that he was on his second chance and he was still showing up late for practice, I would have booted Boo Carter. Now, he didn't let Boo Carter return punts the other day, and he's an electric punt returner. He did get on the field, but he was behind McMurray. So, but at the same time, you've still got that guy, and he's still a great punt returner. And it looks like he's going to make it. Looks like he's going to be on the team. At some point, they'll start working him back onto the field.
Georgia game.
There you go. So I think I'm going to give an early kudos to Josh Heupel because there were a lot of us who just thought, he's a distraction, move on. If you got, we've talked about this. It's not unusual for teams to have confrontations with one another. Somebody doesn't do what they're supposed to do. Somebody accidentally walks into a fist.
Daniel Hill got into a lot of fights.
So I'll give him credit for the way he handled that. I was also glad to see motion back in the offense. Lord, we missed that last year. We kept talking about it. And then Chip Kelly finally brought it back. I'm trying to think if I wanted to throw out one more thing here as a side note, but we'll save it for something else. Let's get on. Number 11, picking nits. something, anything. It could be a commercial. Anything you didn't like, but I want to start. I'm starting on this one, picking nits, because this is legit, and people are going to say, you're crazy. Get rid of replay. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. Football is supposed to be entertainment.
Yep.
I'm not entertained by a 4-hour football game in which you keep going to replay over and over and over again like a crutch, and we sit there and look at it, and you still don't know what you're doing. The announcer in the booth, the ref announcer in the booth, argues with the people on the field that, well, they should have done this. I saw LSU lose a touchdown. And the guy in the booth is like, how did they take that away from him?
Yeah.
Tennessee, they have one taken away, they have another given to them, and I'm like, there's nothing here makes sense. This isn't clear and obvious. His elbow being down, that was the forearm being down on the touchdown, that was not clear and obvious. Then you had the targeting. I'm sitting there with Bob Hodge watching this game. He thinks it's a targeting. I don't think it's a targeting. We're still looking. So everybody says,
Don't
well,
show it.
yeah, they say replay fixes this.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. It just passes it off to somebody else's opinion. So if I've got to deal with it, I will just say this. Football was played for a century without replay.
Yeah.
And it's for my entertainment. If I get tired and stop watching and other people like I'm not watching, it goes away and the coaches don't last anyway. So if they're going to sit there and go, we got to get it right, fine, get it right. But you don't. So I am an old man. I will ride a covered wagon home tonight out of here. But I want replay out. I'm done with it.
I agree with you totally. I believe in
I didn't anticipate that.
Yeah, agree with you. Man, we played football and watched football a long time. What makes it even worse now is the fans can actually see how you screwed up the call. Just make the call, and we keep it moving. We'll be pissed off and all the rest of that. But at the same time, we ain't that pissed off because we don't see the replay. Now we're watching it, and you still get it wrong. Just make the call, and let's keep the game moving.
Colorado won a national championship thanks to a 5th down years ago, 1990. I don't think anybody died.
No.
I don't think the world shifted on its axis. Everybody just went, oh, that's awful, and moved on. And I'm all for getting back to that if it means that I have to sit through 4-hour games. All right, nits to pick.
Mine is just the funny little play with the 2 Syracuse guys where they obviously got the call from the coach for one of them to fake an injury.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, you got a whole bunch of damn, I can't say it. But you got a whole bunch of just not being a football player in that moment. And like to Tennessee does the same thing too. They hit a big play when their offensive line or field goal. We have more people get injured on field goal than any team in America.
You used to get hurt. Those are tough plays.
And I'm just
don't know how hard those extra points are, man.
You have no idea.
You hurt your knee a million times out there.
Run a few extra sprints, get your calls in quicker, play the game the way it needs to be played.
Agreed. Did they have a signal for you?
I'm not
at liberty to say.
I'm not
right
here to say.
We had one. It was called Red Cross.
Red
That
Cross,
means get down.
That's what Justin Hamilton, who used to be on our show, said at Virginia Tech it was scuba.
Yeah.
So somebody had to dive. Red Cross.
One time we called it and like 5 people fell. I was like,
They got
somebody
us.
get the hell up. Let's go. Let's go.
All right, nits to pick.
Man, I was frustrated sitting at home, watched the game. 3 minutes left to go in the game. It gets cut to ESPN3. I mean, this is a load of crap.
Yep.
They've never done that before. They always say, hey, the next game, if you're interested in watching that one,
It will start.
It'll start over here. You can finish the game that everybody's been watching the entire time right here. Well, so they do that. I flipped to ESPN3 because luckily I've got ESPN Plus. I flip over to ESPN3. Technical difficulties. Can't watch the game. I got to go watch the Skycast. I did not enjoy watching the Skycast. It was not on my to-do list. So that's my biggest picking a nit in this game.
And I would just like to point out, as somebody who does a television show on WATE, that was not I bet they had phone calls.
Oh, yeah.
But that was not. They're at the mercy of ABC. That's ABC and ESPN making that decision. I can guarantee you, the local station would not turn away from a Tennessee football game. So.
You'd hope so.
You gotta.
Yeah. This is gonna be a hot take right here, and they might get pissed at me about this one.
Oh boy!
I was literally at the Wing Fest yesterday, and one of the guys that was working in the staff was like, "Man, what you think about that Tennessee game?" I'm like, "Cool, whatever." And he's like, "Man, I stayed up all night to watch Nico. He sucks." I'm just like, "Hey, listen, the football is in Joey Aguilar's hand now.
Yeah.
Nico made a decision. He's on a terrible team. I watched a little bit of the game. Their defense can't stop a nosebleed. They are terrible. Let the kid go on. Trust me. I guarantee right now he wishes he was in a Tennessee uniform with the guys he's throwing the ball to. let's move forward. Even on the broadcast, they're bringing up the Nico situation in the offseason. Like, I don't want the rest of this season to be Nico versus Joey Aguilar.
Oops.
Let's go play football. I know they ain't going to like it. But
No. Sunday, we had a graphic that compared the two. That graphic is scheduled to be updated and shown every week. But here's the thing. I didn't know, is he going to be good? Is he going to be bad? I thought, who wins this battle? I thought it was going to be more interesting. If it turns out it's not interesting,
it's bad.
I'm going to cut that graphic. I'm like you. I don't need to do a touchdown dance on the poor guy's grave.
Listen, the quarterback they played against at Utah had 100 yards passing and 100 yards rushing in the first half. In the first half.
It's a good game.
Trust me, when we put the numbers up next to each other week to week, it ain't going to be pretty.
It's not going to be good.
They're bad.
All right. This is number 12. We got one more after this that you guys didn't see, but it's simple. Number 12. Who won the Syracuse game? And for those at home, that doesn't mean Tennessee, idiot. No. What player or coach gained the most from this game? And it doesn't mean for the rest of their lives, but just who made the biggest step forward, who got the most cred, the most love, earned the most trust, whatever you want to put it, who gained the most whatever from this game. And I keep going back. It's his first game, and there were so many questions. I'm going to go back. I think Joey Aguilar won the game. Okay. I think if he hadn't looked good, you'd have fans. We said Saturday, whatever happens Saturday night or Saturday afternoon, it's going to be a massive overreaction on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad it was a positive overreaction. Yeah. But we still got to see a lot more from this guy. So for right now, though, he's the one that I would say won the game.
Yeah, most definitely. I think he's won the game in more ways than one because I think he's won over the hearts of the fans.
Yeah,
I think the fans are fully bought in on Joey Aguilar and his ability to play in this system. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, again, like you said, it's a small sample size, so we'll need to see more. But as far as another person that I think honestly kind of gained himself a little bit more in this game is Joey Halzle. I think Joey Halzle for the past 2 years has been fighting the argument that we lost something with Alex Golesh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I think he kind of
kicked the hell out of Boise State.
Yeah. So
he's going to be an SEC head coach soon.
Oh yeah. But I think he's starting to chip away at those comments a little bit because you could see the offense was truly flowing to somewhat of a point. I don't think it's there yet to what it was at 22, but you saw the flashes that it is still there. The potential for it to be there is there. And so I think Joey Halzle gained more ground through this game.
Okay.
I mean, I want to go with Joey Aguilar. He's the obvious pick for it. You look at what he's been through just as a player. You know, being 24 years old at UT, UCLA, at State, all the other places.
A couple of junior colleges.
You know, like
wasn't a big recruit out of high school.
And 2.5 months in a system, you come in, you do that performance as your first one, just unbelievable. But just to not pick the same one you did.
No, it's fine.
Yeah. The offensive line coach, to me, got the most from that one.
Ellery. Okay.
That was a guy that at the end of last season, I was like, they need to cut him and get someone new. And
a lot of people saying that last year.
And because you've not built the depth and everything else that's surrounded with it, Syracuse can give you a lot of hope. Yeah. And he got job security through the end of the season for me with that one.
Who won the game, Marlon?
Colton Hood. Here's the reason why I say that. Angeli, to me, played much better than Joey Aguilar. As far as staying under pressure, getting hit in the face, and still making great throws. But I think what saved us was there was a bunch of times where they went after Hood, thinking that, okay, we don't have McCoy on the field. Ricky Gibson's kind of hobbling a little bit. So they went after Hood a couple times, and I feel like Hood did a great job defending his guy. There was a couple holding calls that would have been called or maybe called with a different referee staff. But I think he kind of took away their hope a little bit because, like I said, Angeli was picking us apart and he wasn't afraid to stand in the huddle and, get hit in the face and still make a great throw. And you can tell he's a great football player, but I feel like when Colton Hood kind of started to shut that down, we get the pick, I feel like a scoop and score, I feel like he kind of took the game away.
Well, that was actually, okay, I was going to do a 13th question.
Okay.
When was the game won? But I don't think we need it. Let's just end. I kind of like who won the game, and you just covered it right there because that's where I was going to say. I think after that scoop and score, I think we knew Tennessee was going to win this game.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate this. This is kind of fun. I look forward to this. Ollie Lane, Marlon Walls, Daniel Hood, thank you, all of you, for being here. Thank you for watching on the Sports Source Digital Network. If you like this kind of nonsense, be sure to click the thumbs up. Be sure to hit subscribe. The thumbs up, I know I never do it. I rarely do it for anybody. And I know most of you aren't going to go do it. Just hit the thumbs up. Just give me one. You got to go find it and hit the little thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. The subscribe button. That way you'll know when we put up more stuff, and ring the bell. It'll notify you. And leave a comment. You may have a question that you think we ought to put into the mix and use every week when we do this. You let us know that, and we'll see you next time on the Sports Source Digital Network.